Well, hello folks, and welcome to this live stream with me, David Connolly, the web developer extraordinaire. The sun is shining and my computer, I can see I'm looking at myself, the screen is flashing, it can't figure out what to do with my skin and things like that. But there you go, now I'm all pink, now I'm all brown. Anyway, very nice to have you here, and this is going to be my last live coding stream for a while. Now, I don't know how long for a while means. It could mean 4 or 5 days. It could mean I'll be back on Monday. It could mean 6 weeks. Who knows? But it's going to be my last one for a while, and I'll tell you why. There's a few things that I've been aware of recently, and one of them is that lately, for reasons that I don't entirely understand, I haven't quite been as productive as I would like to be, you know? A year ago, I could code 15, 20 hours a day with no problems at all, without even breaking sweat. But recently, I've noticed that after a certain time, maybe usually about 8 p.m. at night, my energy is just low and I'm pretty much done for the day. And I have to wonder if that's got something to do with the fact that I'm live streaming and I'm talking and I'm kind of slightly sick of the sound of my own voice. And the challenge is I have some things that I really, really want to build just now. I'm really determined to get the Trongate documentation in great shape. I'm determined to rebuild the learning zone, and I'm determined to get the Trongate website perfect. These are three things that I mean, they're huge, all of these things, but I'm absolutely determined to get those done as a priority and as quickly as possible. And if I'm coming on and burning out after a relatively short period of time, I'm not much use to anybody, you know? So I have to get stuff done. And I think that just maybe if I do that, and instead of listening to me, I can listen to some nice music, that might hopefully be helpful. The other thing as well is that I'm the luckiest guy in the world, you know, because I've spent 4 years working on a dream project, an open source project, and how many people get to do that, you know? And it has been fantastic, and it's going to continue, and I'm loving it. I love every minute of it, and it's been a really great 4 years. Make no mistake, I plan on working on Trongate every single day. In fact, I'm doubling down. But there's another part of me which is, and I haven't seen the guy for a while, and neither have you, but there's another part of me which is, dare I say, the entrepreneur. And I'm really, really, well, basically through necessity or whatever, I'm going to have to get back into the marketplace, and I am going to do that, you know? And I'm good at it. I've done it before. And one of the things, not that you came here for a business lesson, but one of the things that I figured out, maybe you have too, is that the business of being in business is all about confidence, you know? Like real confidence, where you can look at the screen and say, hi, I'm the web developer extraordinaire, and not even blink, you know? I've had that confidence before. I know that I can get it back, but to get it back, I need to do certain things, and it's not an overnight process. So I'm going to be listening to a lot of good music that will hopefully get me into the right state. And I'm going to be spending a little bit of time working on myself. I'm not changing personality. There's nothing weird going on. There's no voodoo. But well, let me put it this way. I had a good friend, a great friend actually, who was talking about going into a partnership with me. And that partnership, unfortunately, although we continue to remain good friends, and I look forward to having him here soon, but unfortunately, that particular thing that we were going to do is not going to happen. And so I've got to kind of stop being DC the developer, and it's now upon me to make stuff happen again. It's basically something like that. The other thing as well is that I think that the live coding videos, they're not really for everyone. They're not tutorials. They're not particularly interesting or anything to most people. And all I'm really trying to do is give developers a place where they can go, and maybe they'll know that they're not coding alone. That's it. That's all it was ever intended to be. But it is hard viewing. I mean, I find the guy Terry Davis to be interesting. I think he's the Van Gogh of the future. And I think that he's an extremely interesting guy, very flawed, but probably a genius. I don't throw these words around lightly. But the thing is, could I sit and watch one of his live streams for 8 hours? And I'm, biggest fan in the world. But could I sit through that? Probably not. Would I even want to sit and code with that in the background? I'm not sure if I would. And so I think that there's something to be said for high quality content, saying things that count, maybe doing tutorials that are interesting and giving people information that's useful. Maybe that would be an interesting thing to do. Now, I'm aware of the fact that I think I've got about 31 channel members, and I really am super grateful for that. I'm going to be continuing to give them cool content, and hopefully I'm going to be worth the $4 or $5 a month. But I don't know, maybe we'll try something else for a little while and see how it goes. I've certainly got a lot of information that I think they might find interesting, and it's information you won't find anywhere else. I mean, just the other day we had the Google launch, and one of the products they launched was the new SQL for Firebase. And that's great, and congratulations and everything. But you do realize that there's a free way to get all of that stuff, right? I mean, have any of you figured this out yet? Or am I the only one? Am I the only one who figured out how to get access to all of these technologies that people pay fortunes for, free of charge, and perfectly legally? Is it just me? Well, you can. And maybe that's what I'm going to be giving the members. Maybe I'll give them a sort of diary format thing and let them know about some of the things that I've been doing as I take this little sort of switch off course for a short while. I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll do tutorials. I don't know. I'll do something cool, but I am going to be taking a little time out from the live tutorial stuff because, frankly, it really is low quality viewing. Let's not kid ourselves, It's just a guy bungling through stuff that's not particularly engaging. Half the time, there's errors and stupid mistakes and everything, and I'm just struggling to see the value in that. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Now, one of the things that I'll also say is that when I started off doing the live coding here on YouTube, I could come and listen to the best music ever. We used to love listening to Jean-Michel Jarre, James Brown, even Pink Floyd and bands like this, and all sorts of really great music. But for about the last year, that has not been the case. And I've already had my slaps on the wrist from YouTube, and it has been made perfectly clear that, if you play something and you've not got permission, you're going to get banned forever. And I don't want that to happen. And lately it's got so bad that even if I play Commodore 64 music, which is another favourite of ours, even if I play Commodore 64 music, the next day I'm getting copyright strikes and stuff like that. And this is not only mechanical copyright strikes, but copyright strikes on the tune itself. So what that means is, I'll give you an example. Excuse me. So let's imagine you enjoy listening to Commodore 64 music from a computer game from back in the 80s and you like to code to that. Well, that original recording is going to, and I'm not a music expert, somebody can give me the right terminology, but it's going to be subjected to, I think, what they call a mechanical copyright, meaning the actual recording that went on tape that we now listen to is subjected to copyright. However, now it's got even worse, because if you find a video on YouTube, let's say, of somebody with a synthesizer in their bedroom or a guitar, and they play the same tune, but it's an entirely different recording, it's just someone in their bedroom, well, the algo can now pick up on that and you get a strike. And that's fine. But I think that there's missed opportunities here. In fact, I think if anybody wants an idea for a business, I'll give you one. There's a real need for somebody to build a browser extension where you get permission from artists to play their music, because there's tons of great musicians on YouTube who are unsigned and everything. I would certainly be happy to pay and, find somebody who has some cool music and says, okay, if I play this music. And unfortunately, that's not available. So the musicians are missing out, I'm missing out, and everybody's missing out. It's just the way it goes. And so I'm really, really limited in terms of the music that I'm allowed to play. And it bothers me. And it's starting to get to the point where I'm like, oh, gee, it's going to be this jazz music again, that we've heard a gazillion times. And it really does bother me. And so that's another thing. Having said that, thankfully, I have a little channel on Twitch. It's at twitch.tv/Glasgow Dev. Twitch.tv/Glasgow Dev. And sometimes, if I really want to listen to some nice music, I'll go on there and stream, and there's not any problems. And as far as I can tell, the streams get deleted immediately anyway. It's a truly live experience, and you can listen to live music and stuff. So maybe YouTube's loss is Twitch's gain, and perhaps I'll go there from time to time as well. But that's where we are just now, and there you have it. So let me see here. We have Fresher Denimug says, have you seen anything about these mesh devices that have antennas and transmit long distance without paying for a cell phone plan? I've not seen it, but that's incredibly interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting. I wonder if this could herald the beginning of the second internet that I've been speculating about for a while. Here comes I Am Programmer. How you doing? It's very nice to have you here. It's been a while and good to see you back on the scene. All right, folks. So I am going to be doing a bit of work on the documentation here. All of the excitement is over. And with your permission, I'm going to just get started straight away. Now, let me just get my screen up here. Now, once again, this is not a tutorial, that's for sure. It's not a tutorial at all. It's me bungling through some stuff and trying my best to produce something of value. So that's all it is, and I'm just getting started. It's no big deal, and I'm going to open up the Employee of the Month as well, because I'll be needing the Employee of the Month today. All right, so if we look at the Employee of the Month, actually, something... Oh, hang on. Ah, great. Now you see me, and now you don't. Would you give me just a minute to fix that? All right, here we go. So I hope you can hear me. I'm going to delete this thing. How do we do this? I'm going to delete this thing. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to bring in this thing. And then we'll do a little flippity flip. Here we go. Okay, hopefully we're good. All right, so I got an interesting message here. You have limited access to our latest model, GPT-4o. And I'm glad that they've moved the 0 down. It's smarter, understands images, and can browse the web and speaks more languages. Shall we give it a try? All right, might as well. So I have limited access. Interesting, eh? Well, you know what? Let's just go for the jugular. I'm going to be working on the Trongate documentation here. And how are we doing? I think I've done all of the pre-installed modules. I think I have. I'm going to just double check. Give me a wee minute here. Okay, here's the framework. So we've got Trongate administrators, comments, files on pages, security tokens, users, welcome. And then here, administrators, comments, files on pages, security tokens, users, welcome. Cool, that matches. By the way, it does match. And if anybody's wondering how I did that with my incredible intellect, I'll tell you how. I went Trongate administrators, comments, files on pages, security tokens, users, welcome. Like music, you see. So you make a little tune up, and when the tunes match, you're cool. See, learning stuff already. Anyway, exactly, a second internet. These powerful mesh. Can I say that like a supervillain? With these powerful mesh devices, we could create, I can't read, app 2P, AP 2P network, unregulated. Exactly. Exactly. It sounds like a plan to me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Do leave a link if you've got one. I'd like to find out more about that stuff. All right. We a peer-to-peer. Yes, yes. I'm loving it. You're a crypto genius, right? Or a crypto enthusiast. Am I right? Am I right? I'm using my force skills here. Anyway, just again, people who use the phrase peer-to-peer and P2P are often interested in crypto, you know. All right, so I've covered the installed modules. I think I've got them all covered anyway. If I just have a quick look here, look at these beautiful pages. It's just fantastic, isn't it fantastic? Really, really good. Oh, I've not done Trongate pages. That's the one that I'm going to do. Okay, that's cool. I'll do Trongate pages then. Good. But I think I've done everything else. We've got Trongate security. Ensures that access is allowed. Aye, that's good. All right. Everything is beautiful. No, I just think unregulated internet is important for freedom. Yeah. I love it. And I love the optimism. Yeah. I agree. I agree. And it's kind of interesting to see how this is all going to go, innit? I mean, I think, I don't want to depress people here, but sometimes I feel as if the world's going to hell in a handbasket. I remember in 2004, I got hired by somebody. I won't say his name and embarrass people or anything, but he became a good client of mine. Became a good friend, actually. And I remember one time we were out and he was giving me one of these state of the world discussions. Yeah, the youths of today, all of that type of stuff, whatever it was. And I remember I said to him at the time, you know something? I think that the biggest threat to society is political correctness. This was in 2004, and he looked at me like I was an idiot. Like, what? 2004, what are you on about? And then I spoke to him about a year ago, and he says, did you see what happened in the news? And did you say, well, look what they're doing now? Oh, it's falling apart, and. And I says, do you remember that conversation we had? And I told you that the biggest threat to society today is political correctness. Do you remember I said that? He says, I do. I said, how right was I? And he was like, absolutely. I mean, take, for example, I'm not even allowed to talk about, um, or you get banned. It's outrageous. The scientific way itself is under attack. Um, it's insane. It's insane. I've got to the stage lately where every time I see Putin on TV, I'm practically begging him to press the button and end it for us all. I'm just not even sure if I can be bothered with any of this anymore. Um, anyway, forgive me if I'm depressing you folks, and I'm not a political guy, that's for sure. But let's put it this way. If this was the Star Wars universe, right now, I would be on a one-way trip to the Dagobah system. I'd be done. I'm not. I've had it. I've given up. As far as all of that goes. But hey, at least we can still code, right? At least we can still do that. Anyway, so I'll do the Trongate pages thing. And again, it's not the most exciting thing in the universe, but it's probably worth doing. Now, apparently, I've got ChatGPT 4. This is a massive big class here. Look at it, it's 1,500 lines of code. It's absolutely insane. I wonder if ChatGPT 4 could handle this. Now, let's just do the most ridiculous question ever. Can you improve this? Now, surely it's going to say that's too long. Who are you kidding? But let's just try it anyway. Oh, there we go. Okay, we're not going to hold that against it. Just making sure. Okay, so I'm going to have to do this the hard way, and I'm probably going to have to just look in here. All right, I can see some challenges with this, like attempts to display a page based on URL segment. Now, what is it doing here? We're getting some data. We're getting the end of URL bits I'm seeing. What does end URL bits do? Let's have a look here. Oh, back up the top. Oh, you can't see the screen. Pardon me. Oh, yes, there's a good start. All right. Apologies for that. So I'm looking at this Trongate class. It is a mile long. I had pasted it into ChatGPT. It said, no luck, it's too big. So I'm now going through this. And I'm just seeing if there's a way that I can improve the thing, So the first thing I'm seeing is a little bit of camel case here. I'm not into camel case because I'm trying to write something that resembles pure PHP. And as you know, pure PHP uses snake case. I think that, right, okay, I think I've figured this out. So what I'll do is I'm going to build a new site in record time so that I can test this, you know. I have a little convention I've been using, which is like V1, V2, V3. I mean, it's a V1 thing, but it's just for testing. So I'm going to call this one, I think we're on to V. Let's go with V Lucky 7. It's just for my own little test thing, you know. So I'll choose a location. Let's generate a new app. There we go. All right, now let's build a little task manager and just look at the speed. It's the fastest framework in the universe. And I'm just going to say task title. We'll go like that. A little old submit. Order by ID. And there we go. Perfect. So we've now got this manage tasks thing here, which I'm going to just quickly test. There it is. There it is. That's perfect. Now I'm going to import some data. So I'll head to PHP My Admin. I'm going to use an older one that I had been messing about with. So here's one here. And let's export this. So we're going to get all of the rows. We'll view the output as text. Not going to have comments. I'm not going to have one of those. And we're just going to have the data. So there we go. I'll copy that. Head over to the new database, which is here. Into tasks. Now let's empty our tasks table because I did add a test record. But now we're going to chuck this in. There it is. And now we've got 99 records. And the nice thing about that is that it can give us a chance to check out the fabulous pagination and all of that stuff. Now, I've got a page here, manage articles. So imagine if you created a new web page called About or About Us or something. If I hit submit, we get this here, and I can move this toolbar anywhere that you like. I'm going to have it on the left. I'm going to have it on the left, and I'll just make up a little bit of content as quickly as you can. I think that'll do me, and save it. Okay. Now, the question is, how do you view that? I actually cannot remember. Kid you not, I can't remember. But thankfully, we have a little URL here, so that's handy. And I think that's given us the... Ah, there we go. Oh, you miserable thing. So actually, it says it cannot display because it's not published. That's good. So I'm going to click. Now it's published. Now I'm going to view as a normal visitor, and just look at that. If we view in edit mode, we get a little /edit, and that gives us all of the magic here. This is a beautiful system. I mean, it's like, call me arrogant, but I know something is good when I see it, you know? Geez, it's funny how you build these things and you just forget that you've got them, you know? But just look at how, I mean, really take a moment to appreciate this. We can add in a little button, maybe a secondary button, and look at the speed. Look at this. I can center, I can make it go a wee bit bigger, a wee bit smaller, hit escape, save. It's absolutely incredible, and I really, really am liking it, you know? Anyway, that's that. Now, you know how this page is called About? I'm going to try a little experiment. Well, can you believe it? Even if I just go to /about, it figures out that you can go there. It's just crazy. Oh, gee. That is probably the best part of the whole Trongate framework, and I forgot that it was there. I need to get my head checked. Anyway, Fresher, thank you for the comments. Please leave me some comments, folks. Give me something to talk about here. Can you imagine those in control have the power to literally turn off the internet? Communication shouldn't be able to be regulated as such. Yeah, absolutely. Of course, you know. Great. Of course, I agree with that. Yeah, I do. The last time I engaged in a conversation about politics, it ended up with me basically saying if I had my way, I'd nuke the whole place. I was like, can't do this anymore. No, I try not to think about it too much. I do find it a bit depressing. Best deal with things that you can control, you know. Funnily enough, though, I have to tell you something quite strange. I how can I put this? As far as life goes, I don't consider myself to be ridiculously happy or anything like that. You know, um, I'm at the stage where I don't even watch the news or anything. It brings me down, and there's a lot of stuff to get miserable about if you think about it. For sure. I mean, I think humanity's gone back to the dark ages, quite frankly. But the funny thing is, for the past week or two, everybody I've come into contact with has been like that. Oh, you're so cheerful. How did you end up so happy? And I'm like, what have I done? I'm not cheerful, you know, but somehow, I don't know, it must be a vibe or something that I'm giving off. A very peculiar thing, you know. But that's fine. I'll keep it, you know, I'll keep it. Um, but the politics stuff is deeply, deeply depressing. All of it, and you know, I just can't be bothered with any of it anymore. Everybody's a bunch of lightweights anyway, you know. So it's like, you know, why even participate? You know, if you look at the history books and you look at the revolutions that have happened through the ages, like the French Revolution, like the Russian Revolution, and there's a few others. One of the key variables that was always there for all of the revolutions was starvation. People literally being hungry, very hungry actually. And we don't have that right now, at least in the West. We really don't. And the fact of the matter is that most people have a standard of living that's higher than the royal family of England had 50 years ago. Most of you watching have got smartphones and access to the web. Some of you might be driving relatively new cars. You've got freedom of mobility. A lot of you have got freedom of time. We've got it good, you know. And as long as that's the case, I don't think anything's going to happen, actually, at least of any great significance. You'll get people on YouTube whinging and complaining and stuff like that, but they're never going to do anything because they're not hungry, thank heavens. So there's nothing, you know. I suppose I'm a pessimist in terms of the next 200 years for humanity. But the good news is you don't have to be totally doom and gloom because people have never had it so good, and nobody's going to do anything anyway. Um, Nobody's going to fire any nukes or anything like that. It's as far as I can tell that they're all just bottling it, you know. So it's fine. Might as well just code, right? There you go. Simple as that. Anyway, that was the nearest you'll get to a political conversation out of me right there. Anyway, right. So I'm really, really quite happy with the way that this thing has been built. It's perhaps the best part of the whole framework. Now, I'm seeing a thing here that says end. Is that a PHP function? I think it might be. So I'll ask, can you tell me what the end function does in PHP? Okay. The end function is used to advance the internal pointer of an array to its last element and return its value. So a quick example is that end array, and that gives us date. Right, that's cool. I didn't realize that was what it did. So here we are looking at the URL, we're breaking it up, and then we're getting this target segment somehow. Now hold on a minute. Yeah, so the target segment is the last segment, but if the last segment is edit, then the target segment becomes that. Now, as good as that may be, we happen to have a little string helper here. And I wonder if we've got anything that could help us with this. Maybe it's this URL helper. Let's have a look at this. Now get last part. This gets the last part of a string based on a delimiter. Okay. So let's copy this and we'll go like this. And then I'm going to call the employee of the month here. Okay. Okay. Now let me just say, please consider the following code, which is a method inside a PHP class. Now, let's assume that the method has immediate access to the following helper function. Is it possible for attempt display to be improved by invoking get last part? Please note, throughout this app, there is a current URL function that returns the current, the full and current website URL. I'm just letting it know, right? So we'll take it to the employee of the month. Let's see what you got. Can you make it a little bit more economical than that? Let's see what it says. All right. I coded it to complement me, not coded it, I adjusted the settings so that it complements my hair as much as possible, you know. So it can indeed be improved. You can simplify and streamline the process. Here's the refactored code. So this current URL is that, URL bits is that, get last part is that. Okay, that's actually reasonable, but I think it can be improved. This is why I am the web developer extraordinaire, you do realise, right? So I'm going to have to teach ChatGPT how to do a little bit of coding here. So there's what it thinks is improved. I'm not seeing anything worth writing home about there. So how can we improve this? Well, let's keep this part here. So we'll take this current URL. We're getting rid of any forward slashes here. I agree with that. It's a good decision. Fine. Then I'm getting the last segment. So we're calling get last part, which is one of our helper things. Might as well just do that. And that forward slash is how we're breaking up the URL. If the target segment happens to be edit, then we say URL bits is this. I could call it URL segments. Doesn't really matter. Is explode that on the current URL. And then see how that says num bits is count URL segments. Well, we could say that, so it's count URL segments minus 2. If you want to be really clear, you could even say target segment index is count URL segments minus 2 like that. And then you could just chuck in target segment index here. Now, I might be wrong, but I think that that is a little bit clearer. I also think that this line is not necessary. Okay. So I reckon that that's probably a little bit better. So I'm going to just go back to the employee of the month and say, thanks. I've made a few changes. What do you think of this? Your revised code looks much cleaner and more efficient. Here's a polished version with a slight tweak for readability and consistency. So, that URL segments, record object is that. I'm not seeing any difference there, by the way. Not seeing any difference. Now, just out of curiosity, What exactly did it do there that it thinks was so essential? Let's see if we can find out. So we're all the same here. I know that this is a bit boring to watch. Definitely all the same here. Definitely all the same here. Yep. So I don't think it made any changes there at all. None at all, unless I've missed a typo or something. But in any event, that's fair enough. So I'll go like this. There we go. So that gets our record object going here. And then we're going to go like this. So right around here, it's attempting to find a record from the Trongate pages thing. I could actually go into the model here, and I'm just thinking of ways to improve this. When you look at get one where, we could add in a target table. We could do it. Doesn't do any harm, you know. So let's just do that as well. So we'll say that. Now here it's saying, if the record object is false, display a 404 page and return, and that's us. I could have probably said a die statement there or exit, and that would have been fine as well. But if everything is okay, there's our data, and then we get a target table, a record ID, image upload URL, some things like that. And then here, now this is kind of strange, isn't it? Why is it getting a last segment selected? What is the benefit in this? Right. Okay. So okay. So I would say that let me think here. Okay. I'm not going to ask the employee of the month because it's not going to do as good a job as me. That's right. So let's space down here. And then I'm going to copy this thing here. Now, all of this business with editing and whatnot, that is only relevant if the last segment is edit. So I can go like this, but I'm going to say enable page edit is false, just as a sort of default, you know, kind of like a fallback, let's just say. But if the page finishes with edit, we're now asking the question, is this an admin user? So you can see it's attempting to get a valid token with a user level ID of 1. Now moving on down the page here, you can see right here that, now see when that attempts to get a valid token, if it gets a valid token, then the token is a string. So we can say if the token does not equal false, so that means user is now confirmed as being admin. So in that instance, enable page edit becomes true. Now let's go back down here. Okay, now you can see we've got an else if in here. Else if last segment is edit and blah, 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 blah. Well, let's try something else. We're inside here. We know that the last segment is edit. So I'm going to say else. Now this, of course, means that the token is false. I'm going to flip this. So if the token is false, right, then I'll just add it in this here. Now, let me think. All right, let's go and we'll do that. So if the token is false and string to lower environment is dev, well, that means you're not logged in, but you're just building the thing. So if that happens, we are going to redirect the user to Trongate pages manage. And if they're not logged in, they'll get kicked out, by the way. Else. So that means that the user is now confirmed as being admin. So yeah, that's cool. So the user is confirmed as being admin, and I feel kind of good about that. Now let me take this out, and I'm seeing a whole lot of brackets and stuff here. I think that this should go. All right, I think it's like that. Something like this. Just tidying it up. Just tidying it up, you know. So we're doing that. Now let's look on down here a little bit more. Okay. So I'm going to copy. Right, all of this. Jeez. Hold on. Yeah, this is cool. So basically what we're attempting to do here is we're attempting to fetch the page from the Trongate pages table. If we don't find it, we display a 404 page. That's what's going on there, okay? Okay, I don't think that requires a comment. Now, this stuff here is fine. And I think I'm using camel case because I'm passing it into JavaScript on the view file. And when using JavaScript, I think it's good to use camel case, you know. But then we've got this last segment thing here. That is pretty stupid. So okay. All right, so let's take this thing here and that's no matching record found on Trongate pages table. That's what's going on here. But here, let me have a think. If the last segment does not equal edit, then the page is not published. So let me think about this. Right. So we 100% have to get the record details here around about this point and then do that. So produce a 404 page if this page is not published. It's kind of obvious, but I like doing stuff like this and leaving. I'd rather leave a comment and make stuff obvious than not, you know what I mean? All right. Now, what else have we got? And I've just noticed a little mistake here. And the mistake is we've got this data enable page edit thing. This should probably be just an ordinary variable here. And the reason for that is because data is being set down there. So what we want to do is say data enable page edit equals enable page edit. And there we're producing a 404 page. There's a whole lot of work here in it. But let's see what else we got. I think that's it. So finally, all systems go. We load the page. I think that's it. Okay, so I reckon that is kind of improved. If you look here, we've got a page that says display, and this is running Trongate pages attempt enable page edit. If I go to Trongate pages, attempt enable page edit, you'll see here that it's loading up a view file by the name of enable page edit. And if you look inside here, you can see that we've got these PHP values being passed straight into JavaScript. And that's why, probably why I used camel case in that rare situation, which I'm happy to do, you know. So I reckon that that's going to work. And I do think that that is an improvement. So to test it out, I'm just going to copy it and then head over to the new site that I had just made. So that was, let's have a look here, htdocs v7. So I'll open up Trongate pages. You can see how painstakingly slow this whole thing is, right? But here it is. So that was 70 lines previously. Now we're going to 50 lines, which is not too bad. And I'm going to save. Hold on. I'm an idiot. It's attempt display. Here it is here. All right, here it is. Actually, here it is here. We saved one line of code, by the way. So copy that. Heading to the new one. And we're looking at attempt display. All of that work was to just save one line of code. But at least we did, and it's a very proud saving of one line of code. I'm going to save this, head over to my little test site here, and let's now take a look at the About page. There it is. Looks good. I'm going to make sure there's no JavaScript errors or anything. Beautiful. Let's do a little /edit. You can see that's bringing up this stuff. And there's our second headline. Another little bunch of text. Saving it. And don't it make you feel good? Well, that's a legitimate improvement as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to open up the magic Git machine here. And inside the Trongate framework here, I'll just say improved the attempt display method inside Trongate pages module. I'm trying to document the thing, you know, so I think it's probably a good idea if I just make it a bit clearer, you know. All right. So now, thank you very much indeed for being here, because now it is time. I'm going to go to my docs, or our docs, and I think we had a pull request that came in from Simon today. Thank you very much, Simon. We've had some really great help with this, and all of us are super grateful. We will never forget the contributions. And here we go. And actually, we've got 2 pull requests. Okay, so we've got a little fix on the code indentation. I don't really need to check these files. I know that, you know, it's cool. We're all part of the same happy bunch. But if I don't do this, I get one of those stupid "you only live once" badges on my GitHub page, and I don't want that, you know. So that's why I'm doing that. Now, Simon here would like to bring back the scroll bar, and who am I to mess with that suggestion? So let's bring these in. I'll do this one first because it came in first. There you go. And it's as easy as this. We've posted a little comment. We hit merge. And how cool is that? That is now part of the vibe. Now we'll go into Simon's thing. And thank you so much. Little comment just to say thanks, you know. And then we bring that in. See? Community driven, folks. That's right. That's the way it's going to go with this framework. And oh, what a glorious framework we have. So I'll pull this in, and that's going to be bringing in all of those changes. There we go, right there. Okay. So now, if we head over to our docs, keep an eye on this scroll bar. I think Simon's done some work here. There's the scroll bar back. I wouldn't mind if that was a dark blue colour like the original design had been. But this looks excellent. I have to tell you, this looks pretty good. Nice job, Simon. If we could get, let me just see if I can do this. Can you give me some CSS rules that will change the bit that you can grab and drag on a scroll bar to blue? All right. I'm only interested in changing the color of the bit that you grab. Nothing else. All right. Okay, so we've got a little bit of action here. I'll head into the Trongate docs. Now we've got a file by the name of docs.css. I'm going to look for the word scroll as known as scroll. Scroll. There it is. Do we have anything? I don't think we have. So let's just whack in that. And then let's just whack in that. So now we'll have a little refresh, and that looks pretty good. I like it. But of course, we're not going to have it just some generic blue. Nay, we're going to say var primary. In fact, primary dark, or even primary darker. And look at the beautiful thing. Mind you, somewhere along the line, we've lost the nice grey background that we had for the rest of the scroll track, you know. So okay, I'm a wee bit confused, so I'm going to say I have added the following CSS rules onto my style sheet, and I can see that the, what do you call it again? The part that you grab is indeed now a bluish color. However, no. Okay. Can you show me how to modify this CSS so that the scroll bar background color is silver? And here's how you combine all of them. Okay, cool. Looks good to me. So we'll whack this in, have a little refresh. Excellent. The silver color is a little bit too much, so let's just try another color. And I think that might do us as far as that goes. Good. Well done us. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. So I think that might even be worth a little commit, actually. Added some CSS to give the scroll bar thumb a dark blue color. That's what just happened. So commit that, send it up to the sky. You can easily participate in this and join in on the fun. It's all on GitHub and I can show you it if you want. And as you can see, my viewership's gone down the floor here. Taking some time, yeah, plotting and escape. Ahoy to you. Why is this the last stream for a while? I just rewound. You're taking some time not to stream. And serious project. That's right. Thank you very much. And hello to you, plotting to escape. New name. Ding, 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 ding. Thank you. Thank you. Nice to see you. Yeah, I just need to get some stuff done, you know. And, oh, geez. Now that is unfortunate because I don't want that scroll bar going blue. Okay. That's kind of heavy. So how do we pinpoint? How do we do it? Probably if I look for the word overflow, I can see that that's part of an aside. If I take this out, actually, do you know what? I'll bring in the employee of the month and I'll say the CSS is good. However, I have several scroll bars throughout different places within the website. I only want the CSS rules that we've discussed to be applied to a scroll bar that exists within the aside element on the page. For clarification, here are some CSS rules that are being used to define how scroll bars behave with aside elements. That's cool. So a little adjustment. Head back downstairs. Going like this. Now it's going to bring back the crazy silver colour. We know that. But at least this looks decent again. Yep, I think I can live with that. And instead of silver, we'll go back to this F1, F1, F1. There you go. And how do you like me now? All right. So we're on our pre-installed modules, Trongate pages, and after a whole lot of work, we managed to improve attempt display. Here it is right here. So I'm going to copy that, head to the docs here. I've got a little page by the name of contributor notes, and I'm going to paste this in. And this method exists within the Trongate pages class. I'll do that in quotes. Okay, cool. I'm going to copy that. Head to the employee of the month. if I'm using ChatGPT 4, I don't want to because, well, there's not any need. But let's chuck this in. And all I'm doing here is I'm asking the ChatGPT to give us some beautiful documentation. And that's exactly what it's doing. Hang on a minute. I made a mistake. Hold on a minute. Darn. All right. Well, I'm getting into a little bit of trouble here. So I'm going to just say correction. Now, I've got these different branches here. So for example, if I click here, I'm not going to click there. If I go to right, let's try that. Dev. Left nav and table of contents working. Well, that's not much use. Let's go to this CP1. That's not much use either. Let's go to main. All right. Now, there's probably a gazillion better ways of doing this, but I'm going to create a new branch here just locally, and I'm calling it CP2. It's a little checkpoint, if you know what I mean. So I'm now on this thing by the name of CP2. If I now head into contributor notes, now I've got something that's a bit more meaningful. So I'll copy that. Then I'll head back to the main branch. There we go. And in the main branch, I'll paste that in and save. That was the thing that I wanted. I'll just say added original contributors notes content, which had previously been lost. Yeah, I really need that content. Because the idea is that you describe what you want the thing to do, and then we go like that. Paste in. So now it's going to give us some HTML. Attempts to display, if no matching record found. It's given us all the information that you could ever hope for. Now, I don't like the table, I have to be honest with you. I don't like the table. So let's see if we can do something a bit better than that. Let me check for required. All right. So I'll go like this. The the only thing I'd like to change to the only improvement that I can think of for the above HTML would be to add a required column onto the params table. For example, that. All right. Well, if this works, it'll be a minor miracle. Actually, I'll just mention the table because the rest of it was good. Please use snake case wherever possible when using PHP. Right, I think that's it. So I'm going to copy that. I'm heading into the Trongate. Oh geez, it's the Trongate Pages module. And this little beauty here is called attempt display. So it's an HTML file. And we go like that. A little tidy up here. Save. And there it is right there. And you can see if we click on it, we get this. So attempts to display a page based on the URL segment. Let's just fix that. Based on a URL segment. Now, attempts to display a page by reading a value from the URL. It checks the... No. Let's shorten this. If the last segment of the URL is edit, the method also verifies if the user is an admin. So that permissions may be granted for editing. If no matching record is found, 404, additionally, blah, 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 blah. This method does not take any parameters. However, it does attempt to fetch a record from the Trongate Pages database table based on a value that is read from the URL. Okay, I'm just trying to spell out how the stuff works, you know. It does attempt to do that by reading value from the URL. The method does not return any value. So there's our thing. And you can see it's calling attempt display. However, I think that for something like this, I think it's acceptable to say example usage not available for this method, which would be that. It's a whole lot of work, you know, but I think it's worth it. So attempt display, there it is. And now we know. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. Now, I think that that's kind of a good example, so I'm going to copy that and go to the contributor notes here. It's all getting a wee bit confusing there, wasn't it? All right. So I'll paste in the one that we've just done. What I've just shown you, you can be considered as being good HTML documentation for the following method. And then you go like that and you paste your thing in. There's our contributors notes. Thank you very much indeed. I haven't done it, make you feel good. Now, I think there is possibly another thing that we could add to this that could make it even better. So when we click on that, attempts to display blah 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 blah. No, I'll keep it as it is. I'll do documentation and explain the nuances when we get to that. This is really just a sort of a record to get people out the starting blocks. So, what does this do? Make string unique, generate a unique URL. Wow. Where does that get called? Nowhere. So I don't think it's being called anywhere. Let me just check. Right, that is not being used anywhere. So the question is, do we just take it out or do we keep it? I think I'll probably just take it out. I think I will. So Yeah, I'm going to take it out. Then again, I can see we've got make URL string. My stomach's doing Chewbacca impersonations. I apologise. I think it's this coffee. It's like Trico. Make a URL string, returns a URL string, or a random string if the URL is not unique. Okay. So I'm going to talk to the employee of the month. The following method can be used to create a slug when saving a web page. If the slug is found to be not unique, the method reverts to using generating a random string. Now, within the class, there is an entirely unrelated method with the following code. Do you think it would be a good idea to have to call, now what was this called? That in instances where the generated slug is not unique. In other words, would it be better to use that in an attempt to produce a more search engine friendly URL in those types of situations? And I don't know the answer. So if the record object is not unique, we attempt to make it unique. So let me have a quick look at attempt make unique. So what it does is it checks for matches. Okay, I can see that make URL string unique invokes got matches. The code for got matches is as follows. Can you find any ways to improve either make URL string unique or got matches? All right, Okay, so we've got a little bit of improvement here. Let's have a look at make URL string unique. So I'll go like that. And the next one was got matches. Okay. Now again, make URL string unique. Okay, cool. So thanks. Can you improve the doc blocks for make string unique? And there we have it. And then we've got thanks. Can you do the same for got matches? Oops, what did I just do? All right. So I think, well, I hope that that is an improvement. And now I'm going to just test the thing, you know. So let's imagine we're on this page here. It's called About. And let's go back, create a new page, and I'll just call this one Second. Going to hit Submit. Do that. Save it. Let's have a little look at the database here. We're on Trongate pages, and we've got this URL string coming in of second here. Now, let's go back. And I don't know if this will work, but I'm going to say second with lowercase. Never really did anything. Okay. Third time lucky. Save it. Now that gives us this third time lucky thing. Now let me go back, create a new web page. Now I'm going to say third time lucky. And save that. So it seems to have just added on a random string at the end of it. Am I so dumb that I forgot to take that across? Let's copy, do that. I'll go like that. Okay, now I'll go back in here. Oh, let me try that again. So create new web page, third time. Lucky. Here we go. All right, well, for whatever reason, it's just adding on a little code. I don't know why. I honestly don't know why. So let me see if I can solve that mystery. It's calling make URL string. Now, if the record object is not false, it calls make rand string, which, you know what? Maybe that's just the way to go. Make URL string unique. Got matches. And nothing is calling make URL string unique. Nothing at all. So let me go back to the insert thing. Now we've got make URL string that gets called. If the record object is false, let's take this out. And let's say make URL string unique. And what is it expecting? Okay, so this is looking for three things. The temp URL string, an array of all website pages objects with the URL string property, and then the record ID of the Trongate pages for which we are creating a unique string. Geez, this is tough, isn't it? Well, let's just take a little note of this here. So we can say we know that this is going to return a string. So let's just say that the URL string would be make URL string unique. So we pass in the URL string that we want, in this case, third time lucky or whatever. Then we pass in all website pages objects with the URL string property. I don't know what that means. So what does it do? It's calling got matches. So if the URL string's that and the ID is not that, okay, cool. So what I'll do then is, if you look at this thing, it's looking for all website pages with the URL string property. I'm not even sure what that means. So what I'll just say is all website pages. Now let's just say that this model get order by ID from Trongate pages. That'll do me. And that's going to go in here. It's a wee bit unclear, isn't it, what this whole thing means? Finally, it's looking for the ID of the page for which we are trying to create a unique string. So we're just going to say record object loading up ID. Now, an array of all I'll change that to an array of all website pages. There it is. All right. Okay. So let's give that a try and we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to say third time lucky and then submit. Look at this, third time lucky. It was a complete failure. Okay, so let's just say, and now we have URL string. There comes a moment when you have to just give up, you know, and I'm not far off it. Third time lucky again. Oh, now that's saying third time lucky research, which is fine. Looks okay to me. Ah, so when we call make URL string, and you can see that saying third time lucky data, so it's clearly trying its best, you know. I just don't know why it never worked that other time. I'll try again. Third time lucky. Now this time it says third time lucky details, which is good. I think that's good. Do one more. So there's another third time lucky. And this time it says third time lucky advice. It's kind of cool, isn't it? And to be clear, if I say something like original page title, that'll work with no problems. And that is how it goes. So it's calling make URL string. It's looking at make URL string unique. It's trying its best. Okay. So at the point What was it doing? Right. I'll copy that. And I'm going to say, what happens if the function shown fails to generate a random string because all variations have been used? That's perfect. That's exactly what I was going to do. So I'll copy that, and now we're going to go like this. So this is make URL string unique. Perfect. Can you give me doc blocks for that? Okay. And that is beautiful. So what we were doing there, in case anybody's wondering, is patience when a URL title is not available, which is possible, you know. And in those situations, it's going to look for a search engine friendly word, such as information, advice, etc. And it's going to try and add that on. It's really, really great. And an array of website page records as objects from the Trongate pages table. Let's just be a little bit clearer. So all website pages, an array of website page records. An array of all records as objects from the Trongate pages table, blah, 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 blah. That is beautiful. So, pardon me. I think that I like this. Make URL string unique. And okay, good. All right. So let's head to contributor notes here. I'd like it to be noted that this method invokes make URL string unique, and I'd like some to have a summary of what that does included. Good. So now we're gonna go like that. And here we go. Is that? That's brilliant. That is so good. Okay. So now we've got something that we can work with here. As we head back to Trongate pages, we're going to have a new file called underscore make URL string.html, and I'll paste that in. And let's just save. So there's make URL string, creates a URL string slug from the provided page title. If the generated URL string, it appends a search engine friendly ring or a random string. It appends that or a random string until a unique URL string is obtained. Yeah, that makes sense. So if we click on it, there's our function. I think that's pretty good. The only thing I would change is I'll just say this method. This method invokes the make URL string method to ensure that the generate string is unique. If the initial URL string is found to be not unique, make URL string append search engine string or a random string until a unique URL is obtained. Now I should I do an example of the usage? Nah, but I won't. But I am gonna, because there's no point. It's a module that comes with a framework, and we've already got an example within the framework itself. So I'll just do this, and at least I'm acknowledging that no examples available, but they can check the code to see how it gets used if they want, you know. Okay, good. So that's Trongate pages now got two things documented. The right, this thing gave me a really beautiful answer a minute ago, and I'm a little bit worried that I lost it. So let me just make sure that I've got that, you know. All right, that's cool. So this is the thing. I'm going to copy that, head to the framework. I'm opening up Trongate pages, and in fact, I'll just save it like that. So that's another little framework tweak there. I'm not going to save it or upload it though, because I'm predicting that there might potentially be more stuff that needs done. So let's look at Trongate pages again and see if there's anything that might be of use to developers. I don't want to call internal things, if you know what I mean. So make URL string unique is a sort of internal thing, you know. In fact, retrieve suggestions for records based on the provided ID. I have no clue what that's doing. So select that where page is like page title. I have no clue what that's doing or where it's being called. I don't think that's being called anywhere. I think that that's something that I've used on a client's website. And it's probably not being used anywhere else. Let me just check that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not being used anywhere. So I'll take that out. And then I've got view pages in the category builder module. Oh, geez. Well, that's a new one. Let's have a look here. Trongate pages, category, builder. Whatever that's doing, I'm not into it. And I don't think it's being used anyway. So let's take that one out. Okay. So list view. I bet you I'm not using it. I think that these are all things that I had made for a client with unique needs, and I don't think that I'm using them, and you'll probably not use them either. So return to the manage page. We don't mind that. Ensure that the current user is allowed to access the protected resource. All right, I can probably do that one. Okay, so let's do that one. I'll head back here, contributor notes. I'm going to go like that. Please note that by default, users, only users who have only logged in users who have a user level ID of 1, i.e. a user level of admin, are able to now hold on a minute. Please note that by default only logged in users who have a user level ID of 1 and are able to are given right access for the Trongate pages module. However, this function functionality can be modified if required. Right, there we go. So let's do that one. It's make sure allowed, and here we go. Does anybody remember the days when we used to write code? Okay, good. So on Trongate pages here, we're going to have a new file, underscore make sure allowed. We'll go like that. Okay, ensure that access is allowed. I think that should be no. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Did you see what just happened? I chucked in a little X and it never did a thing. And I reckon I don't know where it's reading that from. I have no clue. Ensures that access is allowed. I legitimately don't even know where it's coming from. So pre-installed modules, Trongate administrators, make sure allowed. So I'll do a little X here. Okay, so that is okay, so that's reading from Trongate administrators, which is wrong, completely wrong. So let's have a look at this little beauty. Interesting how it says feature type module and then feature ref directory, Trongate administrators. But in fact, we need a feature ref directory of Trongate pages. So this is going in here and it's reading this. Well, okay, fair enough. So I'll need to do a little tweakaroonie to get this reading the right thing. There is something not right on this page. So finally, a little bit of coding action. All right, so I'll start off by doing a die statement. And you can see that our page stopped loading there. That's kind of a good sign, right? So now let's see if we can find the part where this is messing up. Once again, we know that this is called feature ref dir. I'm going to just look for feature ref dir. And unlucky for me, not quite able to see that. So let's keep on going. So these are the feature items. Here's the feature ref. Okay, I'm going to JSON feature item. So what that's doing, it's calling make sure allowed. Now I'm seeing a thing there that says additional code. Let me just echo HTML entities additional code, see what that is. Looks like nothing at all. Let's try var dump additional code. String 0, string 0, string 0, right, okay. And then feature item is just the function name. So there's something wrong with the additional code here. Now, if I'm on this Trongate pages thing, let me see if I can find the additional code. Okay, so if it's set target class name, then data class is target class name. Right, so as we do this, we know that it's reading the wrong thing. So let's try a little experiment. Let's just say target class name is Trongate pages. Oh well. Class is Hold on. All right. So I'll do that again. Let me just look here. Okay, there's something not right here. Okay, let's try a little experiment. Here I go again on my own. There it is. And I'm going to just say span feature ref. No, that was a bit duff. Span class equals feature ref. All right, now let's do a feature ref of upload. If I do that, it gives us this upload method. And that's the upload of an image file. If I then say data class equals file, now it gives me the upload thing for a file class. That's pretty cool. So, if I then say that the feature ref is make sure allowed, it says ensures that access is allowed. But the data class, well, it's just not doing anything. So I can see that we've got fetch feature items info. Now let's change data class to Trongate pages. That's where we want it from. There's loads of make sure allows in this framework, right? But now we want the one specifically from Trongate pages, and we're not getting it. So I'm going to look for this fetch feature items info. Here we go. Here we go. And here it is here. So it gives us the span thing. It builds up an array of target feature refs. This gets turned into a bunch of parameters. And the parameters get posted elsewhere. Now let's do a little JSON.stringify params on this. Bring up the console. Okay, so right around here, you can see that we've got this feature ref directory kicking in by the name of Trongate pages. You can also see, incidentally, when I go like this, it's saying Trongate administrators for make sure allowed, and I don't get that. So let's just break some stuff. My stomach is really doing Chewbacca impersonations here. I apologise if you're sitting here and all of that. So fetching the item info is not defined. Fine, I'm happy with it not being defined. But right there, I'm seeing feature ref directory of Trongate administrators. Where in the name of Sam's Hill is that coming from? Because I don't know. Well, let's try an experiment. I'll go to the docs template. I'm going to undo docs.js. It'll probably break everything. Okay, so that's given us this. Now, as you can see, we're getting a span class of feature ref, and we're getting make sure allowed, and then it just says fetching description. So when this page loads up, all we get is this feature ref thing, like that, with make sure allowed, and that's your whack. But something happens that turns it into this little button, and it builds a whole bunch of stuff. The question is, what is it that happens? To answer this, I'm going to open up docs.js. In fact, I'll do this. Okay, cool. Now let's see what we've got here. Okay, I can see that we've got build feature refs. If I uncomment this, nothing happens. Cool. So now we're going to bring it back. Build feature refs. So it goes through each of the feature refs, and on it goes. And I'm not seeing any mention of data class here. So right, I can see we've got get data class value. So on plucked feature ref, okay, so we get build feature refs and we get plucked feature ref. Now I'm going to just console.log. Let's just say target feature ref outer HTML, and then I'll just hit return. Maybe even a little bunch of stars so I can clearly see this thing. Oh, target feature ref. All right. So this has added in a feature ref directory of Trongate administrators, and who knows where that came from. I certainly don't know where it came from. So the question is, where did it get this Trongate administrators thing from? Where on earth did that come from? Well, let's go to this pluck feature ref thing. So it's building up a thing by the name of, so attempt to return an item that can be matched with an element. So we get the inner text, we get the containing class. Now I'm going to just clarify that the containing class, so the containing class is false, 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 false. And containing class has a type of Boolean. So if the containing class is false, well, no joy. Is that doing anything? So no joy, no joy, no joy. Ah, geez. Okay. So let's just containing class is containing class. So containing class is false, 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 false. So it cannot find the containing class. Now, let's get these existing feature refs here. Ah, right, okay. I've got you. Well, that was a turn up for the books. So it turns out that on the page, if we view the page source, there's a thing here that says existing feature refs. And that thing is pretty massive. It certainly is. So let's copy that, take a little trip to our best JSON viewer, format it. Okay, now let's have a closer look at this thing. So we have these existing feature refs that come in. Here they are. There's 129 of them. Now, we're interested in make sure allowed. And I think I've got some idea of what the problem is here. I think I have. If we look at the feature types, these are all saying class. Then we're seeing helper. And then as we keep on going. Oh, module. Oh, well, we have got module. All right. So we've got module Trongate pages, make sure allowed. Yeah, that's a module. That's cool. All right. So we do have that in the thing. Geez, this is complicated. So existing feature refs, if the name is that, that's cool. All right. So right, I'm going to say now returning that. Come on. So now returning feature type module, feature ref directory, Trongate administrators. Where on earth is it getting that from? So this is the flaw. It's looking through the existing feature refs. It's trying to get a matching class. If it finds a matching class, everything is perfect. If it does not find a matching class, it grabs the first existing feature ref that it can find and it assumes that that's the feature ref that we want. That assumption is erroneous. So if we then say yeah, so that's saying if we don't have a match, just match it with the first thing that turns up. So any old match will do. That's basically what that's doing. Any old match will do. So the name matches, but we don't have a containing class. Well, if we've got a containing class, we're looking for a match. So if we then say, and let's have a bit of fun with this, let's comment this out, and we'll assume that the const containing class is, now let's think about this. We're talking about feature ref directory. Over to our best JSON viewer. These are the types of things that we're looking for. So we would want let me look for Trongate pages. So we've got feature ref dir Trongate underscore pages. Back over to the JavaScript. So we're going to pretend that the containing class is Trongate pages. Let's refresh the page. And that works. Thank heavens. Thank heavens. That's perfect. And we know that that works because if I go into Trongate pages and look at make sure allowed, ensures that I'll add a few X's here. It's now reading the correct thing. So that means that all I have to do to make this perfect is what? Well, first of all, okay, I'm going to do a comment. No class specified. So return any matching any with matching function name. That's what's happening there. Now, let's comment out build feature refs, which takes us to this page here. And you can see that we've got a span class of feature ref, and then it says make sure allowed or something like that. Now, we are talking about this page here. I'm going to add in some X's. There they are. Okay. And it looks like it's looking for a target class name. And heaven knows where it's getting target class name from. I'll find it though, I'll find it. So the target class name right, so you see this thing here? It's looking for this underscore class, right? Now, as we check out this class helper, we've got helpers, pre-installed modules, and stuff like that. Now, let me go here. Let me go here. Right. You see how that says class reference and then the file class, right? Give me a minute. So this is, let me just do a die statement here. Okay, cool. So it thinks that the target class name in this instance is the word file. So if the last 6 characters, and it's looking at the echo second last segment, so it's looking at the file class, and it's saying if the last 6 characters are underscore class, then and only then we add in this target class name thing, like this, for example. But I think that we can do a bit better than that. If we head in to the pre-installed modules and we're looking for a pattern here. So here's a segment here, and I'm gonna echo the second last segment. I think it's gonna say pre-installed modules. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. All right, let's do a little JSON on the class URL segments. So there's what it thinks we've got. I see, right, okay, so it's looking at it's not looking at the URL as such. Okay. Right, that's good. That's good. So I'm feeling pretty darn good about this. So it's looking at the second last segment, and I'm going to echo second last segment with a die statement, and it thinks it's Trongate security. Okay, cool. So let's try an entirely different thing then. Suppose we looked at 1, 2. Suppose we looked at segment 2 with a die statement, and that's given us pre-installed modules. Now let's imagine if we said, okay, take this, keep this the way it is like this, right? And then I'm going to say else if segment 2 is equivalent to, and I'll chuck this in, and I'm going to say bingo. Okay, so what do we do now? Well, the target class name would equal now. I'm just thinking, how do we do this? Does the target class name use underscores or hyphens? Well, let's just take a guess. Let's say Trongate hyphen pages, right? So as the page loads up, this is now turning up here. I'm going to inspect. You can see it says data class is Trongate pages. Now let's bring this thing back to life. Okay. Come on. All right, now on build feature refs, you can see we're doing a little bit of console.log in here. I'm gonna Okay, that's good. That is good. That works. It was a wee bit slow, but it worked. And it was to do with a font, which I can't do anything about. But that works. So heading back to docs feature ref content, the target class name, which I'm going to just echo here. We know that it works with a hyphen. By the way, I'm just curious, what would have happened with an underscore? I'm just curious. Okay, that makes me slightly nervous. So, let me look here. Yeah, it's definitely wanting an underscore for the feature ref directory. Therefore, I'm glad I checked that, because it means that the target class name is the third URL segment. I'm going to echo target class name with a die statement. So it says Trongate pages, but in fact, we want target class name is string replace hyphens with underscores on the target class name. So there it is. Make sure allowed is now showing us the make sure allowed that applies to this thing. But if I head back and look at, let's say, the image class, or, oh no, what have I done? Cannot read null of inner text docs.js. Wait, where is it? 71. Oh, I had hard coded this in. Come on. Good. Perfect. Right, so let's go back to our example. If we go to the image class, it has an upload, handles the uploading of an image. That's right. If we go to the file class, it too has an upload, and that handles the upload of a file. If we go to the modules section, Trongate security has got a make sure allowed, which goes like this. Now I want to make absolute sure that that is the right thing that's displaying there. So I'm going to go to pre-install modules, Trongate security. I'll just do a few X's. And there it is. It's absolutely perfect. So that's the correct one. And now, if I go back to pre-install modules, head to Trongate pages, there it is. And just to make absolute sure, I'll just say yes. And there it is. And I'm smiling because I know that I'm on top of my game here. This is great. This is fantastic, Ola. So, moving on from that, I wrote here I go again on that page here. And here it is here. That was me just testing the thing, so I can take that out. So now we've got this. Everything is beautiful. Thank you very much indeed. and your applause is most welcome. All right, so that was a little fix that I had to do. So over on the docs, I'm going to say added some feature refs for Trongate pages module, and also fixed the feature refs module for pre-installed videos. There it is, sending it up to the sky, and as always, my finest work is given to the universe entirely free of charge. All right, I'm loving it. I am loving it. Good. Now let's close this. Okay. So, that was kind of intense. I never expected that. But I'll head back to the framework now. And let's see if we can find anything here that might be useful, you know, or that we can ditch for that matter. So we've done attempt display. I've done make string unique and got matches. We've done index. We've done make sure allowed. Now this one is a before hook by the name of pre-update. And I'm seeing a thing called priority here. And I think that that is a mistake. Because we don't, as far as I can tell, we don't have a priority here. Kind of interesting, right? So let's do a site-wide search for pre-update. And it does get mentioned on this API thing here. Interesting. So right, let's do an update. Now the question is that even calling the pre-update endpoint? I bet you it's not. Not at all. So the question then is, well, what is it calling? Let's go to network. Going to go like this. Let's save. Okay, so here's where the thing goes. It's API update Trongate pages 10. API update Trongate pages 10. It's a put request. The response is that. Okay. And it is, I think it is doing this before hook, you know. Ah, well, hang on. That's the bloody framework. That's the framework. So, of course, it's not going to change anything if I'm working on it here. All right. So, in that case, let's go to Trongate pages. Right, I've done something kind of stupid here. I've kept in stuff that I never had to. So attempt display is out. Make string unique, that's in. Got matches is in. Suggest is out. I don't think we use suggest anywhere. And like the genius I am, I think, yeah. Select page or that model, that. I don't think I'm using it. I don't think I'm using it. I don't think I'm using this category builder as well. I don't think I'm using this list view. The redirect is cool. Make sure allowed is cool. Pre-update. I don't think that we're using the priority thing here. But let's break stuff by doing a die statement. So now I'm going to go like this. Save. So look at this. Save, save. And it did not save. So we know that this die statement's working here. But pre-update, what does it do? Yeah, this parent page ID and all of that is kind of bullshit. So if it's that, if the page title is that, okay, I'm going to take that out. Why does it check the update ID? Don't think we need it. All right, so I'll just do that. So a nice simplified thing. And that's that. So that's a before hook that updates the last updated parameter to the current time, but it's not really for public use, it's a back-end thing. So next we've got fetch uploaded images. And what does this do? looks like it fetches all of the uploaded images. Wow. Okay, so we'll keep this one in. I'm gonna go like this. Bringing on the employee of the month. I think that one could do with a little bit more detail. Okay. Now that's calling fetch directories and get images in directories. Here's fetch directories. Okay. Can you please improve that by adding more information about how it works and precisely what it returns? In order to assist, here is the code for two methods that get invoked by fetch uploaded images. I want developers to be really clear about what this method returns under normal working conditions. Okay, here we go again. Okay. I want to be sure that you have only added dot blocks, type hinting, and return types. The actual code inside the method should be. As a reminder, here's the method, and once again, I do not want you to interfere with any of the code inside the method. I'm only asking you to assist with dot blocks, type hinting, and return types. I just have to be crystal clear. Okay. So let's go like that. Okay, so fetch uploaded images from the upload directory within the the Trongate pages module. That's what it does. The uploads directory fetches uploaded images from the assets images upload directory within the Trongate pages module. So that's what it does. I'm fairly happy with it. And now, showtime at the Apollo. So we head into Trongate Docs contributor notes. Okay, so this is fetch uploaded images. Perfect. So copy that, head back here, new file, and fetch fetch uploaded images.html. Chuck that in. I'm not anticipating any problems with that. So fetches uploaded images from the images assets within the Trongate pages module. This function retrieves both directories and images within the specified directory. So that's good. The other thing that is perhaps worth mentioning here is the fact that there is an API auth method which is inside utilities helper. So if we go back to Trongate docs, fetch uploaded, I'm going to say the method does not take any parameters. However, authentication is enabled by usage of the code API auth helper function. So fetch uploaded images. The method does not take any parameters. However, authentication is enabled by usage of the API auth helper function. Did I say pre? How do I make it look horrible? Ouch. Well, let's just... Perhaps I should say span class is feature ref API auth. That will never work. Okay, so let's just say okay. So fetch uploaded images, it returns an array containing images, blah 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 blah. Yeah, that's fine. So that's that. Now this is all starting to get pretty darn confusing for a guy like me. So I am gonna copy that and paste in. Okay, so we've removed a few unwanted things. Just gonna say removed some unused methods and improved existing methods within Trongate pages module. Something like that. So that is the Trongate framework. I do hope I haven't broken it. All right, so there we go. Not too bad, not too bad. I'll head back to this V7 thing. So fetch uploaded images, hopefully that'll be useful for somebody. And then here, yeah, that's kind of a straightforward one, just the manage endpoint here. So not expecting any challenges with that one. There you go. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't expect anything strange there. But we'll go into Trongate pages, new file, manage.html. Chuck in that. So as we look here, you can now see display a list of pages that can be managed. There it is right there. So again, I'm just going to click on that. example usage not available for this method. However, the manage page can be loaded by navigating to Trongate pages / manage. So the manage page can be loaded by navigating to Trongate pages / manage, and that's absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with that. Good. So what else have we got then? There's the manage one. There's the display one, and I don't think that that's being used. Is it? I don't think it is. Oh, it is being used. It is being used, but did I not document that one already? Interesting. So let me look at attempt display. Okay, so I'm going to say running attempt display die statement. If I head here or about, everything is kind of normal. If I go here, running attempt display, okay. So fine. Let me have a look at display. Okay, so this is what's being invoked here. When we go to this type of page, you can see that it says OK. The problem is that if we go to an invalid URL, we get all kinds of errors, you know. So let's head up to attempt display. Now I put a bit of time into this and I'm happy with it. So I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to try a wee experiment here. Now, what if I go okay, now I'll go like this. That works. Then that works. Well, what do you know? Haha. Isn't that something? So let's see where attempt display gets called. And it looks like it gets called inside config here. So that is indeed pretty interesting. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to take attempt display. I'm going to copy that. Going to head to the actual display thing here. Get rid of it. Pasting in attempt display, but we're just going to call it display now. Okay. So that's display. Everything should still work. Now, on our docs, I've got attempt display here. Well, I'm going to make a new thing up called display.html. I'm going to take all of the stuff from attempt display and we'll just call it display. Attempts to display a page by reading a value from a URL. If the last it does that, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So, fine. And that means that Trongate Docs has now got manage and then it's got display. Now, attempt display is going to change. Okay, so let's go like this. And let's just say this display. Okay. Okay. I have changed the attempt display method and I now have the following code. Can you give the, no, can you improve the attempt display method by adding doc blocks type hinting and return types? I'd like the doc blocks to make some indication of the fact that attempt display will attempt to match the current website URL to a corresponding Trongate pages record by invoking the display method of the Trongate pages. But wait a minute, maybe not, because this is important. I just saw something there that jumped out. No, that was right. What I did was good, actually. Okay. So we've got that. And then over to the docs here. All right. After all that. All right. Fair enough. So Trongate pages, attempt display. Attempts to, can you please provide some more useful information within the doc blocks? Do you think it's a good idea to simplify the doc blocks by merely indicating that the method is an alias of display? Okay, can you then remind me of what the method should look like? All right, that looks good. Okay. Now, one of the things here that is kind of important is how this display thing works. It's running an intercept 404 here. And what happens here is when we get a 404, we run that as a kind of last resort. So it does the usual custom routing, all of the routing stuff and everything. If it cannot find it, it will draw an error page. But because we've got this 404 intercept defined, that's when an attempt display gets invoked. So now, what are we going to do? Okay, so now I'm going to go like this, chuck this in, and we'll redo this attempt display thing again. Pardon me. All right. Now, all right. So let's go like this. Attempts to display a page. Okay, now I'm going to do another little improvement here. If we look at this, right, I'm going to just say okay, back here, no, back here, right, I'm buying volume as well. Okay, under normal usage conditions, this method gets automatically invoked when or after usual routing protocols have failed to match a web page to a URL. Now, immediately before a 404 not found page is displayed, under normal usage conditions, this method gets automatically invoked immediately before a 404 page is not displayed. And when yeah, now let's just leave it at that. This trigger mechanism is set by means of a an intercept 404 constant, which is usually set within config.php. Right, that's a good description. I think that makes sense. So attempts to display a page based on the URL seg. No. Attempts to display a page by invoking the display method of the Trongate pages module. Under normal usage condition, this method gets automatically invoked immediately before. That means of an insert, which is usually set within config.php. Okay. Is the following well written and readable? Yes, however, it could be slightly. Attempts to display page more. Immediate, just before. Nah. Can you formalize the text some more so that it is appropriate for technical documentation? The method I don't know if that was an improvement. Attempts to display a page by invoking the display method of the Trongate pages module. It is designed to be triggered automatically. To be triggered automatically in instances where normal URL routing has failed to match a URL to a corresponding page and immediately before displaying error. This trigger behavior is governed by okay. Thanks. I've made a few improvements. How is this? Oh, good. It liked it. Well, there's a change. So now we're doing that. And I'm just trying to let people know that it's not just a it is designed to be triggered automatically in instances where normal URL routing has failed to match a URL to a corresponding page and immediately before the smell of this triggering behavior is governed by the which is commonly configured within the config.php file of the Trongate framework. That is it. So that's attempt display. Then we get display itself, which is perfect. All of this leads us back over to this little beauty here. So we've now got display. Holy moly, I'm only about a quarter of the way through. I'm not even a quarter of the way through. Ah, geez. Well, I won't need that. I'm just going to get okay. I'll just do the ones that are publicly accessible. And I think I can do this. So So we'll go like this. Okay. All right. So back over to these docs here. I'm on Trongate pages, going to have a new file, submit.html. And I'm just going to say handles form submission of page title value and attempts to create new database record if form validation is successful. Handles form submission, page title value, and that's good. So there we go. Good. Heading back here. It's taking ages. All right. Let me just look ahead. So submit rename folder. There's a whole lot of stuff here, isn't there? Submit image upload. What else? Submit delete image. I'll probably need that. Submit delete folder. Delete directory. Submit beautify. Wow. The beautify HTML is pretty garbage. That's pretty garbage. Get limit, get offset, set per page. Does that even get called? I bet you it doesn't. It does get called. All right. So we get that. Get that from the DB. Yep. Okay. Get data from post. I don't think it gets called from anywhere. That. I can probably take that out. I don't think title check gets called anywhere either as well. Let me just look for that. Title check. Oh, right. Okay. Fair enough. All right. Well, you know what? I've given it my best shot. But sometimes you have to just know your limitations, you know? So here's the Trongate framework again. And simplified attempt display method. Alright, so unfortunately I have failed to finish this in one sitting. I was hoping I could have got through the all of the things, you know. So I'll just say added more feature refs for the Trongate pages module. Send it up to the sky. Alright, little bit of a downer that, you know. But what can you do? I think there's still stuff here that can get deleted. I think there's too much going on, you know. I mean, look at this category builder. I don't need that at all. I don't think I need this list view. So if I look at find, I mean, that's just not getting used anywhere. So I can probably take that out. I can probably take that out. I can probably take this drag zone thing out as well. So if I go do a little search for that, draw drag zone content. But where does that even get called, you know? I don't think it gets called anyway. So looking at Trongate pages here, draw drag zone content is not doing much at all. So let's take that out. Okay. Anything that mentions priority, I should probably sort that as well. So this is pre-create. It creates a URL string based on a submitted page title. Invalid page title. I don't think that's getting used. Here's some more bullshit about drag zones and stuff like that. So all of that stuff's going to have to, unfortunately, go on to the next day, but I'm doing the best I can. All right, and look at how quiet it is. Can you blame them? All right, well, folks, that'll do me. That'll do me. And let's just see how we're doing here. So Trongate docs. There's no pull requests at the moment. Activity's good. That was just 2 minutes ago. Yep. Yep. Aye, there's a lot of stuff that's not getting used in Trongate pages, rather. And I'm going to have to take my time with that. In fact, as crazy as it may seem, I'm tempted to rebuild it because I think it's possibly the most important module that we've got. That's what I think. So maybe I'll rebuild it. It's the best we've got, you know. Trongate pages editor, images, uploads. We've got some JavaScript everywhere. API.json. I don't know. Maybe rebuilding it's a mugs game. Anyway, I'll come back to that tomorrow. So there you have it. That will be my last live stream for a little while. I'm going to go take a break, and then tonight I'm going to work on some cool stuff. Who knows what it'll be? But today was just this open source stuff, and the plan is that or the idea is that you just chip away at this stuff every day, chip away, chip away, chip away, chip away. And at some point, all of those little sessions will hopefully add up to something cool. That's the gamble. And that's almost 4 hours that has just flown in. So thank you once again. I wish I could get rid of this. It's killing me. It's just this white mark. It looks like a bump, but it's not. My head is smooth. It's just this white patch. It's really bugging me. Maybe it's just one of those little things that makes you unique, you know? Anyway, thank you so much for being here. It's been a pleasure and a privilege, and I'll see you soon.